Joplin city leaders look to a partnership with the school district to address downtown parking issues. We'll look at that and other items on tonight's council agenda. With the governor's signature, Missouri joins the rest of the nation as it begins the process of implementing a prescription drug monitoring program.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
The Joplin City Council tonight will decide whether to move to the next phase of COVID-19 recovery and a possible response to parking issues downtown. This is KOAM News at 6. KOAM's Chris Warner is live at City Hall with more.
One of the items on the agenda is a discussion and a report on Phase 4 of the city's COVID response plan. Now, Phase 4 covers what the next steps are for monitoring COVID in the area and making sure the health department is prepared for whatever may lie ahead. Now, additionally, there's an emergency ordinance to refinance $24 million in sewer bonds. The city is anticipating saving a significant amount of interest by refinancing the bonds from 2010 to 2014. And on first reading tonight, an ordinance establishing two memorandums of understanding between the city and the Joplin School District for parking agreements for Memorial Hall. Now, even if that passes, it still has a second and third reading, and it also contains a clause that the agreements are contingent on voters approving bonds in the April 2022 election that would actually finance the Memorial Hall renovations. Now, that meeting is underway now, and we'll have more on those topics tonight at 9 and 10. Reporting live from City Hall in Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
All right, Chris, thanks. Missouri will begin the process of implementing a prescription drug monitoring program. Governor Mike Parson signed the program into law today after it was passed by lawmakers earlier this spring. Missouri was once the only state in the country without a state-run program. St. Louis County operates a program that covers about 85% of the state. The Missouri plan would collect data only on medications that are considered controlled substances, such as opioid painkillers and some anti-anxiety drugs. The data could not be provided to law enforcement and only could be used for medical treatment. The PDMP will take effect on August 28th. Nick Kelly, some of us saw a bit of rain today.
But no matter if you saw rain or shine today, Dow, everybody had a warm afternoon with highs back in the upper 70s and some trying to push into the mid 80s to start this work week out. We're dry around Joplin from 7th and Rangeline, but you can still see cumulus clouds trying to build up more moisture and try to result in a few more isolated or widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. But the only echoes I see on the board are in our far northern counties around Burlington, Garnett, Mound City, areas north of US 54. Everyone else is seeing partly cloudy skies and mainly a dry start to the evening. Fortunately, we don't have any severe weather to worry about. That's what the complex well to the south, but all due to an upper level low still spinning across the state of Missouri. Despite that, we're warm at the 6 o'clock hour. Upper 70s to now lower 80s across the region. We'll fall through the 80s, 70s, down into the upper 60s tonight. Can't rule out a few more storms this evening, Dow, but I have more rain chances in the forecast, and the warming trend continues as well. We'll break that down for you here in a bit.
All right, see you then. Thanks, Nick. The Area Agency on Aging is preparing to fully reopen all of its centers on July 12th. The agency had shut down the centers due to the pandemic and recently reopened them with limited capacity and hours. Now the agency's 7 locations will resume all activities. Vaccinated visitors do not have to wear masks or social distance, but unvaccinated visitors should still wear a mask at the centers. The agency says if a center patron or staff member contracts COVID-19, the agency will close the affected center without notice. Bear sightings are becoming more prevalent in southeast Kansas. Although it is unusual to see these animals in the area, experts say it's something to start getting used to. They say it's partially due to proximity to surrounding states with growing bear populations in Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. One wildlife biologist says because bear sightings could become normal for the area, it's important to know how to keep them away.
The number one thing you can do is try to eliminate food sources for those bears, because that's where most of the problems come from with bears is human food sources, and that can come from barbecue grills. Keep your grills clean and locked up.
Pet food and bird seed can also attract bears. A Wednesday funeral service is planned for former Joplin fire chief. The family of William Gwynn William Harrigan says he passed away on June 1st. He was Joplin's first fire chief for 15 years. He was the fire chief for 15 years starting in 1981. He served a total of more than 40 years with the department. Gwen was 90 years old. Still ahead, we're going to tell you about the event at Missouri Southern intended to promote an active lifestyle among four-state kids, and a camp in Webb City tapping into the creative side of kids. A lot of us once dreamt of one day taking the field or court as a professional athlete for our favorite sports team. Alas, unfortunately, that dream is a reality for only a very select few, but that doesn't mean that participation in sports has to stop when we're out of school for good. Today, some area kids learned about activities they can do well into adulthood. Missouri Southern hosted the Children's Lifetime Sports Academy. Some of the activities they learned about are martial arts, frisbee, and fishing.
Certainly in this day and age with so many opportunities for video games and social media and tablets and things like that, getting outside really just provides so many opportunities for sports, for activities that they can do truly for the rest of their life.
This is the 25th year for that annual camp. In Webb City, this camp tapped into the creative side of kids in the four states. This drawing camp, hosted by Creative Originals by Roxanne, teaches campgoers how to draw still life pears, a lighthouse, a sunflower, and a sloth.
So what I try to do is just let them know that they can do it. So we have a little oath that we say before we start is, I will be positive, I will not compare my work, and I'm here just to have fun.
Sounds great. Participants paid an $80 fee that covered a sketching kit. Later, Oklahoma ranchers and butchers are starting to see a drop in business as Oklahomans emerge from quarantine and go back to their old spending habits.
And even with some rain chances trying to stick around, the warming trend will continue this week. Forecast up next. We were able to start things off on a quiet note once again this morning, but once again, like the past several days, as the warmth and the moisture built up throughout the course of the afternoon, that led to, surprise, surprise, another scattering of showers and thunderstorms. Nothing like what the Tulsa area saw. That area of rain and thunderstorms exploded on top of them as we got the early morning underway. In fact, some parts of Tulsa picking up almost 6 inches of rain, if not more, just from that complex alone for today. Around here, very slim pickings as far as our rainfall totals go. 0.2 of an inch on the average. Of course, most of you saying dry, but those of you that got caught underneath those showers and thunderstorms today, it's isolated spots pushing half an inch, almost an inch and a half throughout the course of the thunderstorms as they rolled on through. As we go into the 6 o'clock hour, though, you can see our very far northern counties. That's where we have any lingering rain echoes or rain showers, suggesting maybe some moderate pockets of rain, rather, I should say. Everyone else, though, we're dry for the time being, and that does include Joplin. Still keeping an eye on all these clouds, though. They're still trying to bubble up and see if we can get a few more random showers or storms to pop on up. For the time being, though, Joplin, you are dry, with the airport checking in at 80. Feels like 82, though, with the dew point sitting in the mid-60s. So all this moisture that's falling is contributing to a bit of sluggishness in the air, from the upper 70s in southwestern Missouri to some lower 80s throughout parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, but you factor in that humidity, it feels a few degrees warmer than that. For the rest of the evening, though, we'll fall back through the 70s, down to 70 by midnight, and then we'll drop back to the upper 60s as we go through the overnight. So while we deal with maybe the random showers and storms here, we don't have to deal with any of the severe weather with a good complex of storms trying to march toward Jackson, Mississippi. At the surface, nothing's really triggering these storms except the clockwise flow from the high pressure in the Carolinas contributing to pull moisture into that complex of storms. It's what's upstairs that's driving everything. This cutoff low sitting on top of Missouri. It's going to continue to slowly move on toward the northeast for the next few days. As long as it's still around, though, we'll keep an eye on the few showers or storms to start the evening out. Maybe some dry time by 10 o'clock, but I would not be surprised if this upper low tried to bring a few showers and maybe random storm our way by the time the morning drive tomorrow gets underway. But everyone starts mild once again in the morning and will be warm again for the afternoon with highs in the lower 80s with, again, a chance for some scattered rain and storms tomorrow. 67 in the morning, 78 by noon, highs around 83 across the region. Looking okay Tuesday night, going into Wednesday morning, and again, can't rule out a few scattered storms on Wednesday with highs trying to push into the mid-80s. Quick look at the jet stream setup, though, shows the upper low by Wednesday finally taking a hint and getting on out of here overall. So as we start to get underneath this upper level ridge, this is going to really start building in the warmth, if not the heat, as we head toward the end of the week. 83 tomorrow, 86 Wednesday, upper 80s on Thursday, pushing near 90 for Friday and Saturday, and then upper 80s by early next week. So even as the rain chances taper off now, if those numbers stick true with moisture in the air, it'll definitely feel like summer by this weekend.
Yeah, once the first digit is 9, then you know it's summertime.
That's true.
Thanks, Nick. An expanded economic security partnership with Spire Gas will help weatherize natural gas homes in southwest Missouri. It's called the Weatherization Tune-Up Program. It's for low-income families. Through the program, those families will receive an energy assessment and, if needed, the replacement of natural gas furnaces, water heaters, attic insulation, and the installation of health and safety features. Families must meet 200% of federal poverty guidelines or lower. Still ahead, a traveling memorial working to shed light on the problem of gun violence in Missouri, one T-shirt at a time. A nonpartisan group of activists in St. Louis has organized a traveling memorial for children killed by guns. In the past 10 years, gun deaths have increased 47% in Missouri. That's compared to a 17% national average. According to the CDC, Missouri leads the country in child murders. Reporter Julia Avery tells us about the group behind the project aimed at bringing those numbers down.
A powerful display is going up in the Central West End. It's a traveling memorial dedicated to the children in Missouri 17 and under killed in homicide cases last year, corresponding to the age of the children killed.
In some cases, the T-shirts were donated actually by a family member, and they wore the T-shirt of the child killed.
These numbers do not include unintentional shootings or suicides. Organizers say that number would be over 100. The display is put up by the group Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America.
We're nonpartisan. It's not just for moms, and we are not anti-Second Amendment. We're about gun violence prevention.
She says the group is working on gun violence prevention across the country and in D.C.
One that's really a priority nationally is background checks on all gun sales. We'd also like to see loopholes closed in some of the domestic violence laws, so that those who have been found to be domestic abusers do not have access to a firearm.
In the past 10 years, gun deaths have increased 47% in Missouri. That's compared to a 17% increase nationally. According to the CDC, Missouri leads the country in child murders. Shocking statistics that this group is trying to bring attention to, one little T-shirt at a time.
It's been touching people whenever they come to see it. It's moving, it's tragic, and we're hoping it will inspire people to do something to try to stop this epidemic we have.
Authorities investigate an accident that left 3 people dead on the Neosho River near Burlington, Kansas. The initial investigation shows a family of 2 adults and 2 children boating on the river when the boat approached a low-head dam. The boat stalled. The operator lost control of the boat. That's when all 4 people were thrown out of the boat. Rescuers were able to pull all 4 family members from the water. The father, Wesley Sharp from Shawnee, Kansas, is currently in stable condition. However, Maribel Moran and the couple's 2 children, ages 3 and 5, were taken to Burlington Hospital, where they later died. Oklahoma ranchers say business was booming earlier in the pandemic when so many people were having their meat delivered, but now things are slowing down a lot. Reporter Kristen Weaver talked with some Northeast Oklahoma ranchers about their concerns and how you can help.
Jake Miller takes his Out West Farms van all over Oklahoma, hand delivering beef, lamb, and pork by the pound.
It's started to slow down a little bit, but it's understandable.
Miller's farm is in Cleveland. He says last year during the beginning of the pandemic, they were making up to 30 deliveries a trip. Now it's about 10.
If you buy local, you're not affecting a corporation, you're affecting a local farm and family.
This week, a cyber attack closed down one of the world's largest meat processing companies, which supplies a fourth of the beef to the nation. Miller says he's concerned about people forgetting there are so many ranchers right next door.
Some people are falling back into the old ways.
Marie Bush owns Tallgrass Heritage, a grass-fed beef delivery service from her family's ranch in Osage County. She says her biggest issue has been finding people to process her beef, but the demand for her beef has been great.
Lack of availability and then the quality control issue.
Both Miller and Bush say they would like more control over their product and are hoping to start their own processing facilities. But for now, they just urge Oklahomans to keep buying local.
I think Oklahoma should just generally move away from buying any beef in the grocery store. I mean, this is cattle country.
A final check on the weather is next. Take time now to honor a local veteran. Jake Creech served in the U.S. Army. His hometown, Pittsburgh, and we are proud to salute Jake Creech. He's tonight's four-state hero. You can learn about a lot of other heroes from all across this area, hundreds of them. You can also submit a hero of your own anytime. We're always looking for more to honor. Just go to our website, click on the link at KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have the latest on tonight's Joplin City Council meeting. Again, council members deciding whether to move to the next phase of COVID recovery. Also, the country's vaccination rate is slowing down as some unvaccinated adults wait for full FDA approval of a vaccine. And why a rat is being called a hero and more than deserving of his upcoming retirement. That and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Las Vegas woman broke a world record, smashed it. Courtney Olson smashed 3 watermelons between her legs in only 7 seconds. Boom, she says the previous record was 14 seconds. Takes about 364 pounds of force to smash a watermelon, they say. Olson, who is a bodybuilder and personal trainer, says she hopes her record inspires young girls to be stronger, because you never know.
We're told as a society that women are the weaker sex, and we want women to know that we are equal. And although, you know, some things, we all have varying degrees of differences with what we can do, but at the end of the day, women are super powerful.
Can't argue with that. Yeah. And we all have varying degrees of watermelon smashing skills, apparently.
Yeah, I just hope any of that watermelon didn't go to waste.
Yeah, good point. I'm afraid it did. But there's always more where that came
Yes.
from. The weather.
All right, we've got plenty more rain chances on the way, starting tomorrow afternoon with highs near 83. But the rain chances taper off as we continue throughout the week. But as we do, the thermometer is going to rise, pushing near 90 by Friday.
Yeah, once it hits 90, it's officially summer, whether the calendar says it is or not. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other, and let's make it a great evening.